our culture is competitive, man.
Right.
It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, he's not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that he want to be on the top 10 or top 5,
right?
And you still competing.
Vote is fake as that's not a real vote. That's not a real vote. They give it to who they want to give it to. They give it to their darlings.
Cowboy Carter. Beyonce.
50 Cent and Eminem are now openly aligning, and their focus is clear. They are directing attention toward Jay-Z with no hesitation, raising concerns about what they describe as questionable industry practices. The conversation isn't limited to one issue. It stretches across business disputes, disputed creative credit, award show politics, and claims that certain careers were quietly pushed aside. This no longer feels like background chatter. To many observers, it looks like a serious escalation. 50 Cent has repeatedly suggested that Jay-Z continues to interfere with his business moves, even years later. According to him, this isn't something from the past. He claims the same patterns are still happening today. Eminem, meanwhile, has been warning audiences for a long time about how the music industry operates behind closed doors. In recent years, he's slipped subtle references into his lyrics, hinting at powerful figures controlling outcomes and shaping narratives in ways the public never sees.
Trey Young, thank you, sir. All the doors that you opened, showed us that we can be rock stars, seeing you on the Rolling Stone. Obviously, there's Run DMC with the Leathers and the Aerosmith. But when you came out west, you took it to a whole new level. Some of you don't belong in the category. Oh, no, that was it.
Those lines haven't gone unnoticed, and now people are revisiting them with renewed interest. Beyoncé's name has also been pulled into the discussion. Online conversations accuse her of benefiting from disputed songwriting credits and of allegedly contributing to situations where other female artists lost momentum. Names like Aaliyah, Maya, Mary J. Blige, and Carrie Hilson are often mentioned. Fans point out how some artists seem to be rising, only for their visibility to suddenly fade without clear explanation. At the same time, Jay-Z and Beyoncé's long-standing association with Diddy is raising additional questions. People are starting to examine how closely connected these circles really were, and what that proximity might have meant.
50 did not win Best New Artist at the Grammys.
There was nothing bigger than 50.
Nothing bigger, and nobody since maybe like Snoop came out the gate like that. My first album didn't do it. I never saw someone's first album and the wave happen like he had. And then he doesn't get it. And then I get up there another year, and what was it, the Eminem show? And it was like, whatever. I'm fine if I lose to Kanye or someone that I'm like, okay, I respect that. I know who that is, and Kanye has a huge following, and he's made a massive impact on music. Fine, I'm good with that. But don't get us all here to use your selling point for your show and stiff everybody every single time. And I said, after that point in time, I was like, don't ever ask me to here again. Please do not ask me. My answer is no for 100 million years. Never again will I.
Jay-Z may have avoided further legal trouble related to a lawsuit filed by Jane Doe, but the conversation didn't stop there. The woman involved later suggested she felt pressure to remain silent after unfamiliar individuals appeared at her home. Those statements added another layer of concern and intensified public scrutiny. Because of all this, the core question keeps coming back. Are Jay-Z and Beyoncé truly the flawless power couple they present publicly, or have they mastered the art of managing controversy out of sight? Some believe they've remained at the top by carefully navigating obstacles, while others think 50 Cent and Eminem may be holding information that exposes deeper industry patterns. For years, criticizing Jay-Z or Beyoncé publicly often led to immediate backlash. Anyone who questioned them was labeled bitter or jealous. This time, however, 50 Cent insists he has evidence to support his claims. He's pointed back to a 2023 incident where he alleged Jay-Z attempted to prevent him from appearing at the Super Bowl halftime show by using his NFL connections. According to 50, that move backfired when Eminem stepped in and refused to perform unless 50 was included.
The time I ever saw Jay-Z or even heard him spit a rhyme was at an MC battle, street battle in New York. But he didn't show up as Jay-Z. He didn't show up as the hottest rapper on the street. He showed up as that was with Big L.
Rest
For
in
those
peace.
of you.
Rest in peace, Big L.
Rest in peace, Big L.
One of the
That was the
dopest.
sensei.
One of the dopest. Yes.
Big L was who put Jay-Z on.
Without question.
And then Big L died, and then the next thing you know.
That moment, in his view, revealed how far Jay-Z was willing to go to limit opportunities. More recently, during a sit-down interview on Talk with Flea alongside Cameron, 50 once again accused Jay-Z of continuing to move strategically behind the scenes, not just in music, but in corporate spaces as well. He argued that Jay-Z has already accomplished everything possible in his career, yet still allegedly interferes with others out of resentment. Now, with Eminem standing beside him, the conversation has intensified. Together, they're pointing toward what they describe as manipulated award systems. 50 claims Jay-Z has leveraged his marriage to Beyoncé to influence award outcomes, while Eminem has long argued that the Grammys operate on politics rather than merit.
Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. You know, because at first you retire, you know, then get me off the label, now you're back rapping again.
When Beyoncé finally won Album of the Year for Cowboy Carter, reactions were mixed. While many celebrated, others questioned the timing, especially since the previous year Jay-Z publicly criticized the Recording Academy on stage for overlooking his wife. Some fans felt his speech didn't align with the moment, noting the contradiction of criticizing the institution while accepting its recognition. That contradiction sparked even more debate. If the Grammys are truly biased, people asked, why continue participating? Why not step away entirely instead of confronting them on their own stage? These questions aren't new. For years, insiders have suggested that the Grammys function more on relationships and influence than pure talent.
Well, if you want to rap or sing or whatever, don't become a part of the game. You know what? Listen to a song I called The Industry. And that pretty much explains, you know what I'm saying, what it's about. The industry. Man, it's not the same. The industry, it's not a f***ing game. The industry, real is dying to get in the industry just to find they don't fit in. The industry ain't what it used to be. The industry's trying to control the way you MC. They want you to dress like this and talk like that, but I'm going to dress like this and talk with...
Eminem has been one of the most vocal critics, calling the system flawed and refusing to attend for years. He's said repeatedly that losing doesn't bother him if another artist genuinely earned it. What frustrates him is being used for promotion, having his name boost ratings while outcomes feel predetermined. According to Eminem, the illusion of competition is what bothers him most. He's claimed that voting doesn't truly matter, and that appearances are staged to benefit the show itself. 50 Cent echoes that sentiment, stating that Jay-Z's awards have less to do with music and more to do with branding and visibility tied to Beyoncé. In his view, as long as the Carters show up, the spotlight follows. Cameras roll, ratings spike, and trophies appear. And that, he argues, is the real play being made behind the scenes. People keep pointing out the same pattern. Jay-Z and Beyoncé continue to receive nominations, and awards keep coming their way, which many believe guarantees that the so-called power couple will show up, draw attention, and bring massive spotlight wherever they go. To critics, it looks less like coincidence and more like strategy.
And you didn't know if you wanted it for the recognition or the trophies, but then what's the difference? You know, and at Grammys pretty much suck the blood of artists and nominate them, have them come to the shows, and
which they do. They do it every year, yeah. And I'm just tired of seeing it. And for whatever reason, it's like they're always pitching this hint that you might win Album of the Year, which used to be a big deal. I don't think it's a big.
50 Cent wasn't finished making his point, not even close. During a recent appearance on the Flagrant podcast, he pushed the conversation even further. 50 openly said that Jay-Z's entire empire, including the long list of Grammy trophies, isn't about pure skill alone. In his view, it's tied heavily to who Jay-Z is married to and the influence that relationship carries. 50 didn't stop there. He went as far as describing Jay-Z and Beyoncé's relationship as something closer to a business arrangement. He suggested they may be maintaining the image for branding, partnerships, and long-term leverage.
Doing right with the Super Bowl, because he was doing like.
Yeah, go ahead.
He was doing some wild shit because he was saying that to Eminem that the NFL had the issue with me. And I'm like, well, what's the issue? Why don't I have an issue when I'm becoming a partner in the actual team, but they got an issue with my performance? Right? Makes no sense. You know what I mean?
I was going to get to that later, but since we're here now. And when he says, oh boy, for the audience, I'm talking about Jay-Z. This was discussed before. Jay-Z told Dr. Dre, just for people who's not up on this, or Eminem, that he didn't want you to perform part of that Super Bowl they had a couple years ago. Why do you think that is?
Well, I just
threatened. Possibly.
Not even threatened. I think it's just when you take the competition from like our culture is competitive, man. It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, he's not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that he want to be on the top 10 or top 5, and you still competing. It just don't make sense. Like, what are we competing for? What's the goal? Like this even like a lot of the even a lot of the competitive stuff, or what we would call it beef, right? It changed. That terminology changed from when it's Biggie and Tupac, because we start saying the things that people would say that cause beef in the environment. When before that they called it battling in our culture. Right. Because that's what it is until it turns into some street shit. So when you're not competing for those things anymore, and you start looking and you're going, so what was the problem? You can't exactly remember what the problem was. That's for
that statement alone sent shockwaves through social media. And it's not just 50 making these claims. For years, industry insiders have whispered that both Jay-Z and Beyoncé have allegedly positioned themselves in ways that limit how far other artists can rise. The idea, according to critics, is simple. Keep competitors from getting too big, so the spotlight never shifts away. Then there's the story involving Beyoncé's former bodyguard, known publicly as Uncle Ron. Before he passed away due to illness, Uncle Ron made statements claiming he had evidence that certain careers were intentionally damaged behind the scenes. He alleged that rising artists were blocked, opportunities were cut short, and reputations were quietly undermined, so the top spot would never be challenged. He claimed he knew too much, and the timing of his passing has fueled even more speculation. People continue to talk about it, drawing their own conclusions. Jaguar Wright's name also keeps coming up. Once a background vocalist for Jay-Z, she has since become one of his loudest critics. Jaguar has repeatedly alleged that several artists connected to Jay-Z's rise either lost momentum or disappeared from the spotlight entirely at crucial moments. One name she often mentions is Big L. Back in the early 1990s, Big L was considered one of Harlem's most promising lyricists. His freestyle ability was respected across the city, and his reputation was growing fast. He secured a deal with Columbia Records and released a debut project that generated serious attention. Even after Columbia let him go, Big L didn't slow down. He started building independently, forming his own label and making moves that suggested a major breakthrough was right around the corner. Around that time, Dame Dash, a co-founder of Rockefeller Records, reportedly began taking notice. But just as Big L's momentum seemed unstoppable, everything came to a sudden halt. In February of 1999, Big L lost his life during a street incident in Harlem. To this day, the case remains unresolved, with no clear answers and no closure. Jaguar Wright has been vocal about her belief that Jay-Z may have been connected in some way. Those are her claims, and they continue to circulate online, adding to the cloud of suspicion surrounding Jay-Z's name. From one legend, the focus then shifts to another.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's ultimately in your own decisions. You know, I had a lot of issues. Like I said, legal issues at the time. And, you know, my mind wasn't where I'm at now today. Like, I used to have questions like why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop right on top. He wouldn't let me breathe or right before me. Like, I was always close. And I never understood that every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on top of me. And it was like, damn, like to have in-house competition at that magnitude was crazy. Jay already the boss, but I always thought that, like, let me breathe.
DMX. DMX was one of the few artists, alongside 50 Cent, who openly challenged Jay-Z. He did it publicly and directly. DMX often described Jay-Z as bitter and resentful, accusing him of moving quietly and strategically rather than openly. When Jay-Z became president of Def Jam in 2004, tensions reportedly grew. DMX had been a major force at the label, delivering multiple #1 albums between 1998 and 2003. But when it came time for his 6th project, Year of the Dog, again, DMX claimed the release was intentionally delayed. According to DMX, the delay wasn't about scheduling, it was about control. He believed it was done to make room for Jay-Z's own return to the spotlight. In 2005, DMX released The Track Industry, where he openly criticized what he saw as manipulation happening behind the scenes. Many listeners now argue that the issues DMX spoke about back then still exist today. Irv Gotti, Another industry figure added fuel to the discussion. He stated openly that Jay-Z was jealous of DMX's success. Irv claimed that Jay-Z and his mentor, Lyrical Cohen, initially doubted DMX's potential and didn't expect him to reach that level of fame. But DMX proved them wrong, and Jay-Z's name doesn't stop there. Beanie Sigel has also spoken about feeling held back. Beanie explained that it often felt like someone was limiting how high he was allowed to climb.
So I think they still harbor some energy towards me.
You think you were purposely left out of the ad?
No. I don't think. I think that they were saying the NFL has some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are. Like what is the issue? You start looking at that's not mine. That's theirs. They harbor it, right? But when you look at M is looking at the entire legacy.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like with M, Dre, and myself, like I'm a shady aftermath. You see what I'm saying? Like it do so much G-Unit Records.
Right.
They forget that I'm
He claimed Jay-Z would release his own projects around the same time, keeping the spotlight divided and preventing Beanie from reaching his full commercial peak. Beanie made one thing very clear. In his view, Jay-Z's moves were never accidental. According to him, every step Jay took was carefully planned and calculated. And many critics argue it's unrealistic to think Beyoncé has been standing next to Jay-Z all these years without being aware of that strategy. Some fans still try to paint Beyoncé as someone simply following along, but that narrative doesn't hold up for everyone. The argument many make is that they've operated as a unit, moving together, making decisions together, and allegedly protecting their position at the top by limiting potential competition. One example people often bring up goes back to the early days of Beyoncé's solo career. After she stepped away from Destiny's Child and grew closer to Jay-Z, observers noticed a sudden shift behind the scenes. Producer Rich Harrison, who had been working closely with another rising artist at the time, reportedly shifted his focus. That artist was gaining serious attention, and many fans believed she could have become real competition. People still point to similarities between hit records from that era, noting that once Harrison changed direction, Beyoncé's breakout sound quickly followed. Whether coincidence or strategy, it remains a topic fans continue to debate. Then there's the situation involving Carrie Hilson. Her public clash with Beyoncé spiraled fast and became far bigger than music. Over time, rumors surfaced that Carrie may have been pressured into recording a song that positioned her in direct opposition to Beyoncé, setting her up for backlash. Carrie initially denied it, but the situation escalated when she reportedly declined to participate in a magazine cover featuring Beyoncé and Jay-Z. That decision triggered intense fan reaction, and Carrie faced heavy criticism both online and in public. Behind the scenes, speculation grew that the situation wasn't random. Some believe there were people around Carrie influencing decisions while keeping Beyoncé's image untouched. Years later, during a 2020 interview, Carrie admitted she felt pressured into releasing that song and confirmed the backlash she experienced afterward was very real. To her, it wasn't simple drama. It felt like professional damage disguised as controversy. Another name that continues to come up is Kelis. She openly criticized Beyoncé after discovering one of her songs had been sampled without prior communication. What shocked many people was that Kelis said she didn't even find out directly. She learned about it the same way the public did, through social media. Kelis later explained that the issue wasn't just about music, it was about respect. She pointed out that there are very few women in the industry with real influence, and with shared connections, a simple conversation could have prevented the situation. Instead, the sample was quietly removed and no public explanation was given. Then there's Maya, a name that doesn't get mentioned as often, but for reasons that still raise eyebrows. Maya has spoken in interviews about powerful figures in the industry misusing influence and creating uncomfortable situations for young artists. She has suggested that walking away from certain advances came with consequences. According to her, saying no led to her reputation being quietly damaged and opportunities slowly disappearing. Nothing loud, nothing public, just silence and distance. So when you line all of this up, the list of names who've spoken up keeps growing. 50 Cent, Eminem, Kelis, Maya, Jaguar, Wright, DMX, Beanie Sigel, and others. That leads to the question people keep asking. Are Jay-Z and Beyoncé simply protecting their legacy? Or have they been quietly controlling the playing field behind the scenes? And even more importantly, is this really the full list or just the names brave enough to speak? If you think there's someone we missed, drop their name in the comments and let us know your take. Do you believe the Carters are untouchable or just extremely skilled at keeping things hidden? Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with your people. And if you want more stories that dig into the side of the industry most platforms avoid, turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next. We'll catch you in the next one.